Hello everyone, welcome back to Geometry Class Online. Today's lesson is going to be on surface area of cones and spheres. This is a more formulaic version of surface area. We don't think of it necessarily as the sum of the parts. While that is still true, the parts aren't as easy to calculate with cones and spheres, so there are formulas that make this a little bit easier for us. So today's homework is actually going to be pretty quick, because you're just going to be plugging in the parts, but we definitely need to introduce some parts and make sure we understand what all those parts mean. So you look below here is the formula for the surface area of a cone, and the surface area of a cone is found by taking pi r squared plus pi rl. So there's some parts to this equation that we need to make sure we understand what they represent. Obviously r stands for radius, and the pi r squared should be familiar. That's the area of a circle. And a cone has a circular base, so the surface area is pi r squared plus pi rl, because pi r squared is the area of the circle on the bottom, and then pi rl is the area of the lateral face that you see on the right side labeled as cone top, and L is what we call the lateral or the slant height of the cone. We've talked a lot in this class about how you have to measure height vertically. Well, because we're measuring the surface of the outside of the cone, we're actually going to be using a slant or lateral height in this case. So when we say L, it's the distance from the highest point on the cone to a point on the circle. All right, so this is going to be very formulaic. It's going to be just plug in and calculate. You don't need to draw out the nets or anything like that. So let's go ahead and look at an example of how we're going to calculate surface area of a cone. So this is an example of a cone that we're asking you to find the surface area of. We're going to look at that formula again. The surface area of the cone is found by taking the surface area equal to pi r squared plus pi rl. And that gives us the surface area of our cone. So for this problem, that would be pi, our radius is 10, pi times the radius times the lateral height, which is the 22.4. Sorry, that got a little bit crowded in there. That's a little bit challenging to read. Hopefully you're listening to the audio so you can follow it. And from here, this simply becomes a calculator problem. You just take out your calculator, or you have one on your phone or on your computer, and you just do 10 squared times pi plus 10 times pi times 22.4. If you correctly plug that into your calculator, you get a surface area of 1017.8, or 0.9, I guess that would round to, square centimeters. And that's it. That's all we have to do here. We find the surface area by simply plugging into the formula with the radius and the lateral height. And then from there, it's just a calculation example. So we're going to move on and talk about spheres now. And spheres are even simpler, actually, because the surface area of a sphere is found by taking 4 times pi r squared. And so basically what they're saying is that the surface area is equivalent to 4 times the area of the circle in the center of the sphere. So to do that, we look at the example here. It gives us a diameter of 8. Hopefully we all can look at a diameter of 8 and recognize that that's going to be a radius of 4 feet. From there, it's simple calculation. Surface area is equal to 4 times pi times 4 squared. And again, this is just simple calculation work that you can do in your calculator. And when you do that, you should end up with a solution of a surface area of 201.1 square feet. Even though these are three-dimensional shapes, remember the area is always going to be measured in square units because it's area. All right, short video today. Hopefully this should be homework that you can kind of zip through and be confident in. If you have questions and you want to have us show you some examples, go ahead and post those questions on Schoology and we'll do that for you. So have a good day. We'll talk to you in a couple days.